It's a Friday. Welcome to Mansfield today. And as usual on a Friday, we take a look at things motoring. Segi Mudley is our resident motoring guru. Segi, listen, how are you, by the way?
I'm great, and I love the fact you call me motoring guru.
Yeah, you do.
Nobody's ever called me guru.
No, but the thing that I love about this man is you can throw any motoring question at him. It can be to do with cars. It can do with how you should get them serviced, problems that you have with cars, tires, anything at all.
Women that drive cars.
No, stop it. You're going to get us into trouble, you see. Haven't even started and you're getting us into trouble already. And or you could talk about new vehicles coming out or the status of the market. And this
Insurance is very important.
Yeah.
Insurance on motor vehicles as well.
Well, then we must have a look at that.
We're going to have a look at that as well.
Okay,
yeah.
but listen, as a result of one of our previous shows where you were talking about tyres, we've got a whole lot of questions that have come through, and you're quite welcome to send them through. Just watch our ticket tape and you'll get the address coming up at some stage, and you can drop us a line.
I didn't realize I was so popular.
Hey, listen. they love
Or is it that they just want to catch me out?
Okay, let's just, and in no order of importance whatsoever. Gerald doesn't say where he's from. How often should I check my tyre pressure? Now, this was something we were talking about
last week. We discussed tyres, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, tyre pressures generally, Jeremy, and like you mentioned, when you get out in the morning, walk around the car, have a look.
I've started doing that. You know, since you told me last week, I started doing that.
Exactly. You know, there's a bubble on the tire, or the one tire looks a little bit lower than the other three, or whatever. Have it checked. There's no harm in popping up to the garage and just saying, "Could you please top up the tire pressures?" Or like they say in Durban, "Could I have some sky in my rounds, please?" Okay, you know, tire pressures once a week when you're filling up with gas. That's about a good indicator as to how often you should check them.
Okay, good one. Here's an interesting one. Why do signal lights blink faster sometimes? Geez, I don't know if it's a female or a male, but whoever you are.
No, we're not going.
You haven't
that's
got
a sexist question.
No,
that's
but,
a sexist remark.
but I'm just saying, you haven't got a hell of a lot of things to do if you've noticed that your signal lights are blinking
You know what, Jeremy?
faster.
You know, that's a very important observation, though. Because when signal lights, when the one side blinks faster than the other side, it's telling you one of the bulbs is not functioning well, or there's a drop in the resistance in the circuit on that side. It's important that you have it checked, because on the modern car now, you know, there's indicator lights, so if we can use that term loosely, on the fender, on the side mirror, on the front of the car, and the rear of the car. So, you know, there's 4 different places that the bulb could be blown. So pop in at the nearest mechanic or garage, or if you're a DIY guy, check it out yourself. Unfortunately, the DIY guys these days on the modern vehicle, not going to get their hands in there. No. Because it's like 3 hours of labor just to replace the headlight globe these days. So, you know, but if the light is flashing faster on the one side than it is on the other side, could be a globe that's blown, the resistance is reduced, and that's what you're getting the quick flashing for. Or on the odd occasion, your flasher unit is faulty.
Okay, good on. Now, Miriam, you see, we have got females as listeners here who take a listen out to the
I'm sure they're all
motoring show.
Yeah, when they're doing
it's only because of your looks, see.
Oh, funny guy.
When should I replace my timing belt?
All right, let's first determine whether her car does have a timing belt. If it does have a timing belt, then manufacturer's spec on a lot of the cars is about 90,000 kilometers or 5 years, whichever comes first. Now, the reason that the cam belt or timing belt is so important to be replaced is that if your belt fails, and before we get to if your belt fails, the cost of replacement of a timing belt is anything between 3.5 to, depends on the car you own, like if it's the more expensive vehicle, could be up to 10,000, 12,000 rand. That may seem excessive now, But, Jeremy, if that belt fails, well, talk about bending over and kissing something goodbye, because it can get extremely expensive, obscenely expensive in certain instances, if your cam belt fails on your motor vehicle. So cam belt should be replaced, I think, every 5 years if you're going by time, and every 90,000 kilometers on some vehicles. And on other vehicles, you can just check with your manufacturer what is the change intervals for the cam belt. And please change that belt if it is recommended. Don't worry about the cost when changing it. Worry about what happens if that belt fails, Jerome.
Okay, cool. Can I switch to synthetic oil or a different grade?
Okay, now this is something that, you remember we were talking about when you buy a car, make sure you check the tires and check this and check that. When you take your car in for service, just ensure that the grade of oil that's going in is what is recommended. And I think you and I had this discussion a while ago, Jerome. Read the manual. Okay, RTFM, you'll figure out what the F is, all right? Read the manual, let's don't get rude. Read the manual, it's all in your manual. Or ask the question, call your manufacturer, call the salesperson if the car's out of warranty and you're having it done somewhere else. Ask the question. In the modern car, there's so many different grades of oil, from 0W30 to 5W30, 10W40. You name the oil, you name the viscosity and the brand. Every brand has every viscosity of oil. So don't just change the oil and thinking, I've got an old Toyota, if I put a modern oil in there, it's going to be great. No, not at all. When you put in a very thin oil, like a 5W30 in an old motor vehicle, one thing's going to happen. That engine's going to get noisy and you're going to damage that car. You're going to end up with imagine that you put an expensive oil in and you're going to end up with an engine problem. So do not just change to a different grade. Don't just say, it's a more expensive oil, so it's better than the 20W40 or 20W50 that I've been using. No. Read the manual, see what that engine demands, what the manufacturer recommends. They don't just recommend an oil because it's oil that they want you to, they're manufacturing the oil, so that's the oil you need to buy. No, there's a reason that they may recommend a certain grade oil. So read your manual, find out, Google it if you can, if you want to, but put in what is recommended for the car in your car. So, don't just change grades.
Okay, last one that we've got time for, you, Siggy. Look, this is one that I think everyone asks, especially with the price of fuel these days. How can I save money on gas? Simple. What's the answer?
Okay, there's quite a few things you can do. Firstly is buy a car that doesn't use 25 liters per 100 kilometers. All right. Let's say you've done that. Okay. Let's say you've done that. You've not, you've got a car that should be giving you 5 to 7 liters to 100 kilometers. Then everything else has got to be in sync. Your car's got to be serviced regularly. A blocked up air filter will cost you serious increase in gas consumption. So make sure, like I said, that's all part of the service. Then you'd be pleasantly surprised to note, Jeremy, tires and correct tire pressures actually reduce your fuel consumption. There's less drag on the vehicle. Driving with your aircon on rather than your windows open also helps reduce your fuel consumption. And the other thing that will guarantee to reduce your fuel consumption is your right foot.
Yeah. Yes. That one was
don't like show off at traffic lights and start accelerating like an animal. Of course, that's going to be crazy. Yeah. And just be careful. Just minimize how you utilize that right leg, and you're going to see.
Yeah, I always have to smile smugly at the and it's usually a youngish person.
Yep.
And they've got they seated back in their car like
No, they
this.
sit in the back seat. Have you seen that modification? You take your front seat out, you toss it, and you just jump in the back and you lie, you sleep in the car. Yes.
Yeah, and they pull up next to you at a traffic light, and the first thing they start doing is going vroom, vroom, vroom,
That's good.
vroom.
That will reduce your fuel consumption.
Yeah,
eh?
yeah,
yeah.
And then the traffic light turns green and is.
And then there's and then 10 meters down the road they're going to stop at the next light.
Exactly, and I drive up next to them and I think, really?
Really? And so okay, in that little instance, right? He's lost a year out of his tires. He's used more fuel than you're going to use for the entire next month. All right? Nah, it's just an exaggeration. But, stupid things will definitely increase the way your car performs and destroy your fuel consumption, really.
Always nice to have you in the studio, Siggy.
Thanks very much. Always fun being here with
Always bring a smile to my face. Siggy Mudley on the Motoring Show right here on Mansfield Today. We'll do the same thing next week, Friday. Tomorrow morning, I'm in with Samantha Cowan, and we're launching the first of two very big CSI initiatives that are both being launched this weekend on Mansfield Today. So make sure you download that vodcast tomorrow with Sam and I. It'll be available after 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. As I said, two big CSI initiatives that you can be part of, along with our partners right here at Mansfield Today. Until then, look after yourself. Don't drive like a maniac. And listen to Seggy sometimes. Because his wife
Just
doesn't.
sometimes.
Because his wife doesn't. So somebody has to, and that's you. Okay. Jeremiah, everybody. Bye-bye.